is that Labrynth has a lot of ways to play on the very first turn of the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Stovey Torby, the Chandragleer. You've got Arius as well that lets you just straight up activate trap cards on that first turn. Like, being a trap deck, it's been given tools that allow it to, survive losing the coin flip.
Let's see if that works out for Raymond here in the top 8. We're going to main phase now. So this is a matchup of Labrynth versus Snake Eye. I know a lot of you guys are cheering for the Labrynth player because we've seen a lot of Snake Eye. Usually the most popular deck, you kind of want to see the less represented deck kind of, topple that best deck.
So Simon uncovers his field spell zone there and then fills it with Divine Temple of the Snake Eye.
Going into the deck, and we're going to be placing onto the Spell and Trap zone the Snake Eye Ash. Very interesting opening play. And just passing turn. Wow.
Interesting.
So this is one of the things that can occur. And we're actually still in the end phase here.
Right. So end phase, we've got a Furniture effect discarding Lovely.
Yep. And we're going to be setting onto the field one of the Labrynth Trap card. I believe that was a big welcome being set.
Welcome.
So when you play that many disruption from hand, there are from time to time where an odd chance or very, very low chance that you would not open the opening play of Bonfires, Snake Eye Ash, Wanted, and that die roll may not have been that significant at this particular point. We're going to see the activation of Big Welcome.
Activates Big Welcome.
Now,
No
just because the opponent passes turn doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to play on your turn. Most of the interaction will come from the hand.
Resolution. Stovey effect.
On Resolution, Stovey Torby effect.
Was Ariana.
And Ariana was the one that got summoned onto the field and added back to hand, if we want to shortcut that.
Alright, so because a monster left the field by the normal trap card effect, that means that Stovey Torby can come back. And then on top of that, Divine Temple of Snake Eye is going to push Snake Eye Ash forward.
And we're going to
now,
summon...
Stovey Torby is summoned here, and in a new chain, Snake Eye Ash can activate its effect. And that is going to resolve successfully.
Now, this is not the most threatening board coming from the Snake Eye player. Simon is going to be summoning out Poplar. Yeah, he's going for Poplar. Poplar, reveal from hand, summon onto the field. That special summon is going to trigger the Poplar. Poplar is going to add the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye into hand. But of course, it is a spell card, and it's in your hand. It's the opponent's turn. You're not going to be able to activate that card until next turn.
Yeah, this is still not the worst position. Like, you've got a shot to do some damage here. Normal summon hasn't been used yet, so we'll normal summon Ariana here. That's probably going to draw something. He's going to check Stovey Torby to see if he can dodge a Veiler, though.
That's a normal summon, so that Mourner will not be able to do anything here. There's a Veiler.
This is Veiler.
Veiler effect. Target Ariana. The Labrynth Servant.
Seems that is fine. That goes ahead and resolves.
Looking at Raymond's hand, he does have a lot of trap cards. He'll proceed to put both into the graveyard to perform a special summon from the extra deck. Is it going to be Lynx? It's going to be Muckraker.
Muckraker. All right. Seems good.
Muckraker from the Underworld. Essentially, we are going to be locked into Fiend-based monsters. I like seeing how these top levels play.
So that's going to get hit by Ghost Mourner.
Oof. That is a special summon monster. You know how the top level players, they're very calm. They think about the plays. They don't like overreact. They don't telegraph anything to their face. Oh, we're going to proceed with a set 3. And he just kind of flashed the Nibiru. We can kind of see it.
Do I need to go off the research?
That's 3. Leaves both monsters there.
Not my main.
Okay. I mean, the turn passed back. It doesn't seem like there was major things happening over those turns, but the disruption was enough to kind of counter a more significant play from landing on it. But we didn't get to see Lady of the Labyrinth or Lovely maybe doing some sort of destruction or getting that set up. I don't know. Maybe those trap cards will be enough because that could potentially be 3 different types of interaction that could hit crucial points within the Snake Eye combo. But the Snake Eye combo does get to start with, you know, a little bit of a head start with 2 monsters already being on the field.
Now, is there a world where you attack the Ash, but there's only 1 monster left behind?
I'm not sure. Are we strong enough? Because the field spell does add 1,100 attack points.
That's right.
That's a lot of damage. A lot of people forget about the extra attack that goes through. I mean, that's a 1,900
Yeah,
Ash.
I thought Muckraker was 2,000, but she's not.
No, she's much weaker than that. Remember, Labrynth is also a deck that also utilizes the graveyard, the furniture monsters, the clock, the chandelier, chandragolier. Most of those cards, they do have effects in the graveyard that allow them to be retrieved from the graveyard. So, and don't forget about the trap cards that can reset themselves back onto the field. That's why everything here matters.
There are some surprisingly hefty Labyrinth monsters, though. Like the defense, for instance, of Ariana is much larger than you would think.
It's a 2,000?
21.
21. Wow. So on the Summon of Flambridge, we're going to be taking our time to consider which card to activate, or are we going to pass it over back to Simon?
No response.
No response. And we have pushed Lovely into the Spell and Trap Zone.
Pulled her up out of the graveyard.
One thing to know about pushing monsters into the Spell and Trap Zone, it goes into the owner's Spell and Trap Zone. Like something that some people sometimes make mistakes on that when the controls of cards switch, but they're supposed to go back to where the owner owns.
Alright, so original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye is used, sending that Ash that was in the Spell and Trap Zone.
The monster being summoned out is going to be Snake Eye Oak. We're going to be targeting the Snake Eye Ash. I don't believe Ash has been summoned out this turn. We're going to get the effect of Ash. Remember, that Snake Eye Ash was there from the previous turn, so we are going to be getting the adding effect from Snake Eye Ash. Looks like it's going to be Poplar once again. Again, Poplar was already here. That was the head start, so you get to use those monsters right away and reuse those effects because they were already there.
So the sequence there was look away those 2 monsters, or send them away to get the Flamberge, and then use Poplar to put the Ash back into the Spell and Trap Zone. So that's how that got there.
Yep. So Poplar can't go put another card back into the Spell Trap Zone this turn.
This turn.
Yeah. Now, one of the dangers of playing Labrynth against the Snake Eye deck is if Flambridge starts to push most of your monsters into the Spell and Trap Zone, you might be locked out of maximizing all the cards you can
run
play.
out of zones.
Yeah, you can run out of zones there.
You think of that with Kashtira, but not necessarily with this deck.
Yeah. And you can even like summon your opponent's monster back to your side as well, and it can just really prove to be very difficult to deal with your own boss monsters.
We've got regular Welcome Labyrinth on this 4th summon.
Now we're going to see a disruption from hand coming from Simon. I mean, and it is good. The card will resolve. The monster that is going to be summoned is going to be Lady, Labrynth of the Silver Castle.
Taking a look here at Lady Labrynth. We got those set cards on the field.
Yes, that makes it so that she cannot be targeted, and neither, I believe she can also not be destroyed by card effect. Those are the 2 things that are protecting her. Typically, when you play a Lady, you want to keep one set card always on the field so that you can prevent the targeting and the destruction. Now, if you do activate a trap card and there's nothing chained to it, Lady will be able to fetch a new trap card from the deck and set it onto the field.
Notably, this is also the level 8 Fiend that's needed to use the graveyard effective Big Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing else. Nothing on summon.
Open game state, I believe, has been reached. Oh, actually, on summon, there's actually a response. That's going to be the trap trick. So that's going to limit Raymond down to 1 trap card activation after the fact. And we're going to be chaining the effect of Lady.
First, he sets Dogmatica Punishment. And then second, we resolve the trap trick, banishing Destructive Daruma Cannon to get another Destructive Daruma Cannon.
Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon is so strong here. Remember, face down cards cannot be used for Link summoning, Synchro summoning, and Sea summoning. And I believe all these monsters are freshly summoned, so you won't even be able to change the battle position of these cards. That would be 4 set cards if, you know, if the Karma Cannon gets resolved here. But is that what Raymond wants, or is Raymond waiting for another opportunity? We're going to go into battle phase, I believe, and we're going to be attacking.
So it is larger than the Lady.
Was it the same? Like 3,000, 3,000?
I think she's 29.
Was
Actually,
that-
no, this one's 3,000. The other one's 29.
We're going to see the activation of Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. This is such a strong card. I wish we got to see more of this card in action through the event.
So everything goes down except for the Muckraker. Anything that can't be flipped face down is sent to the graveyard.
And that's a player action.
As a player action, not part of the effect. So Link Monster's gone.
And
But the key with Karma Cannon is that at least one thing has to be flipped face down for the rest of the stuff to happen.
That's due to the then conjunction. You know, the first part must occur, or else you just stop and you don't resolve the rest of the card. I mean, this sets up pretty good tempo for Raymond to get the turn back. I believe he's going to survive the turn, and he does. He's going to go into draw phase, draw for turn. 2 more cards set. He can reflip up his own monster up. And that's going to be the Lady Labrynth of the Silver Castle. Flip face up.
Lady? Yeah. Is he allowed to use the turn out? Okay, sure. Problem. I did.
Activation of Big Welcome. Man, I don't think anything face down is going to do anything here.
Still got plenty of stuff in his hand, though.
Mm-hmm.
Can chain with the Lady to set another card. Another trap card. We'll see what it is. 2 Karma Cannons are down. We could have a third. Seems possible. And there it is, another copy of Karma Cannon. And now we're going to resolve Big Welcome.
I mean, Karma Cannon is just going to control the game turn after turn after turn if this keeps up.
Chain Link, 1 Ariana, Chain 2 Stovey, Chain 3 Welcome.
And here we go. This is what Labrynth love to do. Recover the resources from the graveyard, put it back onto the field, put it back into the hand. And once they get that far, it's going to be insane. Now, we are going to see an activation of Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill, targeting the Ariana that was summoned through the Big Welcome.
Thinking about it, but it's going to go through. Stovey is here. Welcome is back. Lady's in hand. And now this gives you what you need to make Chaos Angel.
Yep.
If you put that Lady back on the field.
It is only a Dark Chaos Angel, so it's not the scariest of Chaos Angels.
Well, what you need here is the Banishment, right?
Yep, you can definitely use that to take care of the Flamberge, and then the field definitely gets a lot less sticky. We're going to mop that field up quite easily. That's a free summon. It's a free summon into defense position.
Lady effect.
Lady effect. We're going to special summon. Angle. Or Raymond going into the extra deck. Takes out the Synchro monster. We're going to take 2 monsters, 2 dark monsters. You don't need a tuner. That's the joy of Chaos Angel. You don't need tuner monsters. You just need light and dark monsters. And Chaos Angel is going to target the card closest to the field spell,
Which we know is the face down Flamberge Dragon.
all right, that's 1 out of the way. Is there a second one that could potentially come out? It's very much
First,
possible.
let's make sure that there isn't another response here. Already seen Veiler, Mourner, so it can't be another Mourner. but he might have something else in here.
Mm-hmm. This is a tough spot to be in. We're gonna see
He's
the
got a
effect
second Veiler.
Okay.
Veiler, Mourner. That helps to explain why his start wasn't so explosive as you might normally expect.
It was very defensive for sure.
It
Yes.
was also used.
No, I did not normal summon. This was off.
Oh, yeah, it was well.
Yeah, there was no normal summon from Raymond's side. I have to confirm the game state here, because that was summoned out through Big Welcome.
And he has used Big Welcome, so you can't use the other effect of it this turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one effect once per turn.
Is there anything in there right now that Flamberge could get back?
At the moment,
Like, could you just whack it? And
yeah, I think so. I don't think there's any level 1s. I think all of them are on the field. There's one
oh,
Poplar.
there's a Poplar.
That's it. That's it. This is a free. If you do attack into that Flamberge, it would
It's got to be
not.
2, right?
Yep, it has to be 2. It's non-targeting, but it does have to be 2.
So it's still possible to get rid of that Flamberge Dragon without
Yeah, it's you can attack
usually
into it.
causing problems.
Ariana attacks. That's a Poplar, but now that puts the monster
Into
kind
the
of
spell
into.
and trap zone.
You don't necessarily
Unless he
need to
leaves
use
it.
it. If you just leave it, then
Yeah,
you'll have
he's
2.
checking the Flamberge Dragon. You saw he took longer to check Flamberge Dragon to make sure he knew what it did.
Yep. That is okay. Not using the effect of Poplar, I think that may have allowed that Flamberge to go live in the graveyard.
What else do we know about? There's an Oak, right?
There's an Oak and Ash. Every single, I believe, tiny name is in there except for maybe Birch. And we're going to attack into the other set monster. It's going to be Ash.
It's the Ash. So if we're leaving Flamberge there, it's because we're going to do something else to it. There's a level 8 or higher Fiend on the field. So it could still be kickback to hand if need be.
And we're going to pass turn. Here's the thing. We do know that there's still a Daruma Karma Cannon
Yes.
on the field. So it was like you try to flip them face up, try to do something and link them off. Well, they're going to go right back down. And there's also Dogmatica Punishment that can take care of the smaller monsters as well. But can Simon navigate out of this position? He might have to sacrifice his field spell to do so if he really wants to get a chance to kind of keep stuff already face up and down at the same time so that you don't, maximize the flip down from the Daruma Karma Cannon.
Alright, so Flamberge Dragon is back face up. This means that it can use its effect right away to push something away.
Raymond does not choose to bounce. There's a big welcome. Is there a big welcome in the graveyard?
There is.
Yeah, there's a big welcome. And they're gonna go for Flamberge. I think we're going with the game plan of locking out some zones here. Some of you may be wondering, why don't you just summon out your opponent's monster? Well, Flamberge can only do the summoning effect during the opponent's turn. But I think locking out zones is going to be a little bit more important to minimize the number of interactions offered
And
from our
this
trap
is
card
actually
deck.
smart here, is putting the Stovey Torby specifically there so it can't pop out of the graveyard again.
Yes. Raymond being very patient with his trap cards. He wants to get the maximum value. Simon being very careful not to, too quickly flip over all his monsters to run into a high impact destructive Daruma Karma Cannon.
So we're going ahead and flipping the Birch now. And I believe this is the same turn that Trap Trick has resolved, right?
This is
the next turn.
That was the previous.
He did it on his own turn, the Trap Trick.
He did it during, yeah, I believe so. It was definitely a previous turn. So all the cards are now live again. All the trap cards can be activated. We're going to go with Dogmatic Punishment. What is going to be the monster being sent to the graveyard? It's going... Oh, is it?
Enigmaster Packbit.
Oh, one of my favorite monsters, Enigmaster Packbit. Oh, such a good card.
Enigmaster Packbit. You could give Flamberge Dragon a bit of its own medicine if you want to.
Oh, such a good card. He might even be able to start unlocking some of his own zones by pushing those
That's true, you
monsters
can shove
back to
them
the
forward.
front.
It's a very smart inclusion for the Dogmatic Punishment package because there's so many good. I mean, there's a lot of just shoving monsters back and forth, turning them back and forth into spells. So having something that lets you do that yourself, that you have very strong access to.
So Pack-Bit effect, that's going to put itself into the spawn trap zone, and it acts as a continuous trap card. But one of the strongest things about Pack-Bit is I can summon out any monsters in the spawn trap zone. It does not need to be a spell card, it could be equip, it could be a trap card. It doesn't matter, it will just push them onto the front. Now, just one key note about Enigmaster Pack-Bit is because this was not summoned out properly, you will not be able to use it to summon itself back onto the field. That's the one limitation here. As it was not synchro summoned, so it's thrown into the graveyard.
It's not being summoned from the graveyard.
No, not. But it doesn't. But it still needs to be summoned properly first.
Not if it's being summoned from the field to the field.
Well, we can get a confirmation on this.
Yeah, the proper summoning rules for summoning from the graveyard vanished.
Oh, so not the field. Well, that is something. You learn something new every day. This is going to be quite interesting. That means Pac-Man has the effect to push your opponent's monster into the spawn trap zone too, on summon. Because the summon effect of Pac-Bit can push monsters to the back as well. Of course, it does have a cost to, I believe, it discard a card to do so. We are going to be summoning into the Poplar.
Is it? Can you use it in my turn? Yeah.
Can the Pac-Bit be used on Simon's turn? The answer is yes. Most of the effects are only during the opponent's turn for the summoning. Much like Flambridge, very similar. It's like your own version of Flambridge in a trap card deck. What a tight position to be in, where all your cards can, in a split second, can be flipped face down. Cards were being destroyed. We're going to proceed to do a link summon, and if you link summon into a card, that card could be sent to the graveyard. That Daruma Destructive Karma Can, it's such a dangerous card. We're link summoning into Nightmare Phoenix. Oh, this is going to force the activation of some of those trap cards. Oh, we are seeing a pause at the moment. Has there been an issue here?
Sure.
Oh, the judges are going to be discussing between the players at the moment.
Is it a time issue there?
It may be.
I feel like anything particularly
Yeah, I don't think anything crazy
different
happened.
happened there.
Yes.
It's a time issue.
I believe it is a time issue. There has been a time extension added. I think. Well, we'll wait for the confirmation here. So
Yeah,
we
it's
have
a slow play
on Simon's side.
Simon's side.
Yes. I get that there's a lot of dead ends that you can play into. Now we're going to be playing into the dead end of the Daruma Karma Cannon. We're just going to flip everything face down. That does also turn off the big welcome in the graveyard, but that sends away the Nightmare Phoenix, and that also puts the other monster face down on Simon's side. But that link summon is going to allow for the Flambirch to summon back the Oak and the Poplar. And Oak's effect is going to resolve. I believe that's going to be summoning back the Snake Eye Ash. You got to play at a reasonable pace here. You're running into a very dangerous position where if you get another slow play now, it's a tight position to be in. You could get upgraded.
Yeah. Your normal Snake Eye Ash.
That's good.
So no normal summons left. Ooh. Now here's the thing. We know the card in Raymond's hand. It's a Nibiru. If Simon overcommits into the Nibiru, well, first of all, the Daruma Karma can flip all of his own monsters face down. That's going to be safe from the Nibiru, and the rest of the monsters are going to be sent away.
Yep, there it is. So all the face-down monsters are going to live, and all the face-up monsters are not.
That is, oh, that is such
He's
a
been
painful
holding
one.
that all game too.
You got to be patient with Nibiru, and there it is. Oh my goodness. And, oh wow, we get to summon
Pack bit
out.
effect
Yeah, Pack Bit Effect. We get to summon out our lovely.
and Divine Temple effect, now bringing the Snake Eyes Flamber's Dragon forward. This is cool. This is turning into a great game.
This is a very high level of depth between these turns.
And Lady being back turns the Graveyard Big Welcome on as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a card that you probably don't want to see.
Is it still remember that it's destroyed by battle?
I don't
Or
believe
it's
so.
flipped down?
Yeah, the monster being flipped face down is not going to remember that dark material. Therefore, it can be destroyed by battle.
And we are still in Simon's turn.
Oh,
It's the light effect for destroyed by battle, right? Can't be destroyed by battle.
That's the dark effect.
Dark effect?
Dark
No,
effect.
effect's
Light-
the banish. Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
No, there's two different effects on the Chaos Angel. One is going to be the light, which protects them from being affected by activated effects of
Activated
monsters.
that's right.
And the dark is the protection from battle for
it
all
always
monsters.
Gets banished. Okay, always gets banished.
Mhm.
When you get those three effects on things, they get juggled around a lot.
Oh yeah, a little bit,
It's
yeah.
often difficult to remember which one landed where.
And Flamberge is going to attack into the lovely, which is at 29. That is going to be able to run it over, but we're going to be met with a big welcome Labrynth that's going to return to hand. That's not the position where that Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon wants to be in.
and that's it.
That token is also not very big either.
Destroy.
And because a trap card did manage to put a monster off of the field, that's going to activate Lovely's effect, and that's going to destroy the field spell. That is going to slow down Simon's game plan a lot.
8k, 8k.
Stand by me.
Sure.
We're flip summoning, are we? No, we're just checking. We're going to flip summon out Ariana. This is really good resource management.
Use pack bit to summon the stove.
Pack Bit effect to summon out Stovey.
Packput putting in a lot of work here.
I mean,
Getting those
yeah,
cards
no,
back
we're
out.
going to pick up the cards now.
I think that's a good.
Is it going to be a struggle? Well, after post side deck, I mean, one of the key factors of, you know, being a good Yu-Gi-Oh player is that you need to know how to side deck against different matchups. Oh, what an interesting side choice.
And I feel like, you know, Labrynth in particular is a deck you need to prepare for since it was just in the finals of
Yeah.
the YCS.
Oh, that's right, that's right. We're going to start with Field Spell. Ooh. Have you
Spell
noticed?
again?
I've noticed that.
or setting Ash.
Yeah, putting Ash onto the spell in Trap Zone once again. We've been noticing these repeat games of Game 2 lately.
It's happened a lot where Game 1 and Game 2 the players drop basically the same hands.
Feel free to watch the VODs and kind of see if you're having a bit of a
you
deja
can
vu
confirm
moment.
it if you think that sounds a little crazy. You can take a look yourself.
Set 3 pass. Seems like the tables have turned. We're now the trap card deck here.
So he starts with Arias. He's going to start playing during Simon's end phase.
And that's kind of also what happened in the previous game, except that it was still
it's a
recorded.
trap trick.
Anything else?
Oh, wow, that's good timing. That card will set up the next card. The next card gets to activate. I mean, that's dangerous territory here.
And this?
Activate the trap trick.
Still in the end phase.
Those 3 cards that have been set cannot be used because they're fresh sets and we're in the end phase. Can't chain those. Quick play spells. They act as trap cards. They need a turn to kind of, you know, get themselves ready to be activated the turn after.
Going for
Welcome, Labrynth. Yeah, I mean, by the time
regular
you
Welcome Labrynth.
when
Yep.
you reveal the card to your opponent, that's basically the card that you have to go for.
Regular Welcome Labyrinth, useful because it's going to make sure that you get that field presence. You don't have to bounce it back to your hand like with Big Welcome.
And you go back in.
He's not going back in. Being quite patient with his own cards. Oh, he's contemplating whether or not there's time to think. You know, before
Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna go back in.
he's going back in. He has another card to activate. Ooh, as he throws away a
Activates.
Phantasme with a Chandragolier. That's gonna set the big welcome. Oh, this could be big. This could start mitigating the field a little bit for the next turn, because now
He's got Welcome and Big Welcome. Having both of them accessed
Stand by me.
Oh, he's got the field spell. He's
Oh,
got Labrynth as well. Oh, boy.
So we're going to see quite a few exchanges of destruction.
Yeah, so Labrynth lets you tack on the effect. Also destroy one card on the field.
And that counts as that trap cards effect.
It counts as the trap cards effect, and it tacks them onto the Welcome Labrynth cards. So Welcome Labrynth, Big Welcome Labrynth, Fair Welcome Labrynth.
It's a DLC almost to the card.
And that is going to draw a Cosmic Cyclone. I believe it's in response to the activation. Yes. Okay, so it is Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. You don't let it resolve because otherwise you can you could just chain it and tack that effect on. But while it's still in the process of resolving, you cannot.
Yeah. See, preemptive timing. Understanding how these rules work is just so key. And because that was activated in response, we're going to activate Arias from the graveyard to summon Arias onto the field.
And this is what we saw in that Game 2 of the very first match back. Back all the way yesterday morning. Arias putting in a lot of work.
That's going to get the Labrynth banished. Is there anything before we pass back to open game state? It's not open game state, sorry. That's going to be the activation of the Divine Temple summoning out Ash onto the field. So we're getting a little bit of a repeat of the previous game's first action to summon out the Ash. That's going to summon out Poplar. Poplar effect that's likely going to add the original in full spoil Snake Eye.
That one's welcome. That one's big welcome.
Yeah, so he's asking a question that he's actually not allowed to know the answer to.
Yeah, he can't know the answer to that because the turn has already passed.
However, the answer will be revealed fairly soon.
Like right now.
As Raymond activates a Welcome Labrynth.
You got to be careful when you try to ask for those kinds of information.
You can't ask for them at all.
Exactly.
Not in this case, because the turn is passed.
Over. Yeah.
Go ahead and check out the tournament policy for the rules on that.
So we're going to summon out into Ariana.
Ooh,
That's going to be met with Skill Drain. Well, typically the Labrynth player is the one that plays Skill Drain.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's very interesting to see it, flipped on the other side.
So did he activate Ariana here, or are we going to get a situation where he activates the Ariana
Is he chaining?
and then chains Big Welcome? I didn't hear an activation of the Ariana though.
There might be. I would assume there would be. Oh, there's the Imperm. Yeah, I think it was a chain. Because if that does get bounced back into the hand, it does not get the effect.
He can't do that though, right? Because
No, I think Skill Drain's not live, I believe. I think we are still in this chain. I think we're still in this chain at this moment. So Chain Link 1 is Ariana, Chain Link 2 Skill Drain, Chain Link 3 Big Welcome, Chain Link 4 Imperm. That's what I'm assuming, otherwise this play would not be legal.
Right.
So for negated monster effects, even if they leave the field, they will remain negated unless you flip it face down, which is a special case where the
Skill Drain specifically says only negate it while it's face up.
That's right. But with the Imperm coming in, the Ariana still is going to be negated. I mean, at least Skill just putting work for the new monster coming out. At least you're not going to have to worry about your cards getting destroyed by Lovely. But that could quickly change if that Skill Drain gets removed. Because the way that they like to remove it, they have Big Welcome Labrynth. They can bounce, I believe, if you have a level, you can bounce any card, I believe. But nonetheless, these monsters are going to be very strong. Now, it's there's a Seal the Field spell, so that's adding on 1,100 attack points onto the Snake Eye monsters. But that's a 2,000 on the Ares, and that is a 29 on the Lovely.
Yeah, it's one card.
Normal summon, Arya? Oh, we're going to put a very big monster onto the field.
Yep, so resummoning that. And that is a 4 and a 6.
Yep. Like, these levels do matter. And that's going to summon out Chaos Angel. It is going to be negated, but that's 3,500 attack points.
Yeah, with only 6,000 life points here. The temple is boosting the monsters, though.
So right now, it doesn't recognize. Does it recognize that it was thing proof?
Well, the effect's negated, so they're just confirming whether or not the dark material mattered. And we're under skill drain, so I don't think it matters at all.
Right
that is
now,
an effect.
Right now, it doesn't matter. His question is if skill drain goes away, does it start mattering? Which it does.
It does. Wait, that part, yes, it does. So this is your one chance to kind of clear it off while you keep the skill drain. So I'm assuming that Simon is trying to find a perfect timing to clear out the Chaos Angel before it starts protecting itself. And getting rid of skill drain is not actually a difficult thing for a deck like Snake Eye,
Right.
where
You can get rid of it as cost.
Yep, especially for the Witch. Or original Sinful Spell Snake Eye that I believe is already in hand.
Yes, he picked that up right before with the Poplar.
Mm-hmm.
And the Poplar is going to scale itself. Not scale itself, but crystallize itself.
17,
Yeah, it's very similar to a Crystal Beast.
Yes. And you can see even the Snake Eye itself is kind of a gemstone.
Yeah. Oh, yes,
Sort of
the eye part of the artwork.
It's one of those mechanical things that kind of shows through on a lot of these cards that turn into continuous spells. They're all kind of like crystally, because it all comes from the Crystal Beast.
Oh, okay.
pass turn.
And we're passing turn on the skill drain, Chaos Angel, lovely.
All right, so draws that card very gingerly, and it looks like he picked up DS Bellstar.
Bellstar's going to put in quite a bit of
DS
work.
Bellstar plus having the original Sinful Spoils, there's a lot that he can do.
Now, looking into Raymond's graveyard, there is a big welcome Labrynth. We have the Fiends ready, so there could be interactions available to maybe disrupt the flow a little bit, but there's also a Forbidden Droplet. Wow, that's quite an easy card to get rid of. And we're getting rid of skill drain right now because right now it's acting as a bit of a gateway to even start off your own play. So we're getting rid of that right now as a cost for original Sinful Spell Snake Eye. We're going to summon out the Snake Eye Oak onto the field. Effect of Oak, that's going to target the level 1 in the graveyard. It's going to be Snake Eye Ash. Ash effect, that's going to add another card into hand, which is the level 1 fire. That monster, he passed the Poplar. Is he not choosing Poplar? No, it is going to be Poplar. Poplar is one of the best cards after all. We're going to summon out Poplar. I don't know if he has an effect for this Poplar since we see both the field spell and the original already, in play. But nonetheless, it is a free monster to be summoned from the hand. We're going to use the effect of Snake Eye Ash to send away 2 face-up cards, including itself, and that's going to summon out the Flamberge onto the field. I don't know if Raymond's in a good position right now.
No, it's tough because he's only got the one way to interact that we know about, unless there's something hiding in his hand.
Do you have any triggers?
Yeah, I'm just thinking I might do that.
We're doing a trigger check. We have perhaps the activation of the Poplar targeting the Ash to put it back into the spell and trap zone. Thinking on the resolution of the effect of Poplar.
So we've got the Arius there.
Big welcome effect. We're going to target the Flamberge and put it back into the hand. Not the best place to be. That's going to
go back, and now we've got lovely effect. Chainlink 1, Vandreclear, Chainlink 2, Welcome, Chainlink 3.
That's great.
1, 2.
And we're going to destroy the Oak, which is great. It makes it a lot harder to summon out the Flamberge again. If Flamberge can somehow touch the graveyard at this point...
He's got the Bellstar, right? So you can just toss
Yep.
it.
And that's the top deck that Raymond doesn't know. He's really hoping that this is not the case, but it seems like his fear is about to come to pass. We're going to send the Flamberge into graveyard. Oh, so that may be a little bit of a backfire, or rather a really good follow-up play.
No way to know that was going to happen, though.
Yeah.
No way to know.
There's no way. And that's going to activate the Flamberge Dragon, summoning back the Oak and the Poplar. This is a lot of monsters on the field. Now, monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, but I don't think that's going to matter very much if Raymond does not have a follow-up here. There are many ways to reach 8,000 damage in this particular game state.
You realize this is the last and final
We don't want to fumble right now. Got to be very careful of what you want to do. We're going to take 2 Poplars. Nope.
You probably don't want to stick both of them at the same time. You're going to use one first to make anima.
Raymond, carefully dodging the anima zones, zone 2 and 4. So there's not going to be like a additional removal along the way. Now we have anima. Anima is going to be link summoned off with the Poplar. Whoa. Yeah, he already took it. He basically put it into the graveyard. You got to do something now. Well,
there's a lot of good things you can do with that combination of cards.
I mean, you still have quite a few cards here. I mean,
got dark, got Little Knight.
Perfect.
Going to be dark in this case. Dark for Phantasme is kind of cool.
Yep. I mean, you can definitely push really, really hard, but as long as that last card in hand is not in Nibiru.
Dark for Arius in this case keeps it out of the graveyard so that Raymond can't get it back.
You're going to take the Witch and the Dark. That is a Spellcaster. We might be seeing a Selene play here, which is that. We're going to activate the effect of Selene. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's at least
4. At
there's
least
a
4.
Number.
3 is the number, the magic number. And so we got the counters. You're going to remove 3 counters to special summon from our graveyard the Diabell Star. This can go into access code quite quickly. But are we going for access code? I mean, we can't go for access code. This is enough damage as long as we are able to get the enough cards banished to destroy. So we're going to start off with Dark.
Dark. Get the face down.
Ooh,
which we know what that is because he just said it this turn.
Yep. Does he actually have enough materials now to actually destroy the rest of the field?
I think he's got one more. There's no Firelink monster yet. The Dark and Light, Chaos Angels down.
Okay,
now
I see where this is. These are going to go into the Flamberge.
That's going to push the other one away.
This would push it into the back. I just need to go into battle phase and that would clear it up. Yep, that is going to be game, not Simon. Simon is going to play right through it. He's going to figure out where the interactions are with the hand that is not as optimal, and he found a way to secure a line for victory. But now it's Raymond's turn to get a chance for that, and it's Raymond's turn, and it's going to start off with Kuklok. That's going to allow for the activation of a newly set trap card.
Pitching 3 cards right away.
Or special.
That is going to activate the Kuklok onto the field. Yep.
And I hope this goes through. You spent 3 cards out of your hand for it.
Is there an Ash Blossom? Ooh, that is met with an Ash Blossom. That's a huge hit here.
That's brutal. That is just brutal.
But, oh, there's some interesting text available here. We can perhaps continue play. Lord of the Heavenly Prison. We're going to set 1 and pass turn, perhaps? I think that's all you can really do.
Yeah, that's a brutal opening there, just drawing the lovely.
Mm-hmm. So now Lord of the Heavenly Prison is revealed to the opponent. Set cards on the Spawn Trap Zone cannot be destroyed by card effects now.
Correct.
Great way to protect cards, man. Back in the day when people always worried about Heavy Storm, this was kind of the thing that I wish they had. Well, unfortunately, Heavy Storm's not even here anymore.
I feel like this always happens to the Labrynth player. In Game 3, they just get blown out by 1 card. It's usually Harpy's Feather Duster.
That's going to be Wanted activated.
But now, I mean, Raymond had to win that second game. He had to win it against Temple Pass again.
But he couldn't take it. I mean, Cosmic Cyclone, Imperm, plus Skill Drain was enough to just siphon away all the timing and tempo he would have had for advantage. So we're going to get the Black Witch added into hand, the Diabell Star, and what's the... I mean, one card that the Lord of the Heavenly Prison is protecting against has got to be Feather Duster. Oh, Magnamut. No, sorry, this is not Magnamut. This is Druid Worm. Bestial Druid Worm. That's going to banish away the Lovely. Ooh, that could be a significant hit, too, in the long run, summoning out the Druid Worm.
That's tough, losing her.
We have to be very careful here. He looks at his card, chooses
Resolution.
on Resolution. Oh, this is a tough spot to be in because there's no level 8 Fiend monsters
Yeah, he'd
on
have
the
to target
field.
his own.
Yeah, target his own monster and put it back into hand. He wants to save his monster.
Even on a trap effect, or just...
Oof.
Okay, it's just...
Now, remember, Lord of the Heavenly Prison is still a very large monster nonetheless. How does this summon out onto the field?
If you activate a spell or trap card.
Okay.
So Chandelier is coming back.
Great resource
that to
management.
hand.
You gotta do as much as you can here. And we're gonna be
Now
flipping
we're
over
gonna flip the
Rivalry.
rivalry.
That's a limited to 1 card, but if you have it, you have it.
I've been telling you all match happens every single game.
But
There's gonna be a Harpy's Feather Duster. It never
yeah, there
fails.
has to be Harpy's Feather
It
Duster.
never fails.
This is gonna summon out Lord. Lord is going to be putting a card from the Spawn Trap Zone onto the field. What is he gonna be going for?
Now, can't activate this turn. However,
No.
with the Coup Clock back in hand... Oh, no, but he doesn't have a Labrynth monster.
That can't be activated.
Mm-hmm.
So even if he uses the Coup Clock, he won't be able to actually flip it.
Feather Duster.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
That was exactly as you predicted. There's always
Every
a
time.
Harpy's Feather Duster every time.
Every time.
The card mechanic does get destroyed along with the Rivalry Warlords. That reopens the game plan for Simon. Well, so Simon continue his play. We know he already used Wanted. Oh my goodness, there's gonna be a triple tactics talent taking away the Lord of the Heavenly Prison.
Oh, I can't watch. It hurts too much.
We're gonna send that away for the summoning of Diabellstar the Black Witch. Does it have to send your own card for cost, or does it send something else? I believe it's just sent to the graveyard, so that part
Sends
won't
to the
really matter.
graveyard.
We're gonna set the original Sinful Spell Snake Eye, and we're gonna send that away. We're just gonna activate that card and use the Witch as cost. We're gonna go into Snake Eye Ash. Is there a follow-up coming from Raymond's side? Likely not, because we know the cards that were added into hand. This is essentially an open game state, open board for Simon to play through. We're going to get the field spell from the Poplar, and that's going to put the Snake Eyes Diabellstar onto the field. At this moment, we're just waiting for the finished execution of the plays.
This is kind of a really interesting match, all things considered.
Putting
like the
Ash
first 2 games were like really crazy.
Mm-hmm. And the last one was a blowout.
Yep, as we get the handshake.
Yeah.